Hello. Yoga for colds and the flu. Session 1 of 2 sessions. This one I'm not filming in the yoga room because this first one is a discussion. We're addressing the mind first, then the body. Let's start by sitting up. Close your eyes. Have a big breath in and a deep sigh. Just relax. Become quiet. If you're feeling sick, you may be very tired right now. You may be really blocked. You may have a huge headache. Well, for all of that, absolutely, it's a good idea to stop. Take rest. Check in. Okay, open your eyes. Alright, so just got a few points to make. These are things that we can think about in relation to getting sick, getting a cold or a flu. So I got sick over the weekend, and it was not in any way surprising. Why? Because I knew that I was completely run down. I was exhausted. I was just taking on so much. And I was teaching in a childcare centre, yoga for kids. And of course I got sick. Of course I picked it up off the kids. And what it showed me was I made choices to allow myself to get run down. And I knew that when I got sick, it was absolutely because I'd let myself get so run down. So it's not about blaming myself. That's not the point. The point is, take responsibility for cause and effect. I was just taking on so much and I wasn't stopping. I wasn't resting or recovering. I was remaining stressed and anxious on just a curve that was just going upwards, upwards, upwards. It never relented. So of course I was going to crash. So I was quite clear that the choices I made led me to be vulnerable, susceptible to illness. It's good to recognize that and not just blame someone else. You made me sick. Okay. Number 2. Rest. 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 This is the first thing to introduce as a health practice for being sick. Stop. Stop doing everything. Don't do anything. The quickest way to recover from sickness is to take as much rest as you can as soon as possible. But I don't just mean physical rest. Sure, I was able to spend a couple days lying around at home, being fairly quiet. But I learned something very important this weekend. I needed to completely rest my mind. So I had to stop looking at my phone, put down all of my devices, not watch a TV show, not even read a book. None of that is resting the mind. That is engaging the mind. And because I knew that my mind was already fatigued, drained, And that's why I got sick. I needed to rest properly. It's very hard to make oneself let go of all those things, those devices in particular. So, once I realized this, I lay in bed, I closed my eyes, I didn't engage with anything as a distraction. And then my mind started to dream. It started to process things. I started to snooze and also have lots of strange memories from even 30 years ago. It's a classic and interesting part of being sick. What comes up, what we are processing, what we are releasing from the body and mind. So I found that as soon as I started doing that, well, I moved through the sickness process more quickly. I noticed it clearly because if I then picked up a device and started watching a footy game or something like that, or a TV show, I started to fatigue mentally again because it required concentration. So then I put the device down, rest again. And it was so much more restorative to rest properly. So try that yourself. Number 3, the third thing I thought was important that I learned while I was sick. I was interested in what was happening to me. I was listening to my body and mind and recognizing that changes were occurring, things were happening, things were coming up and passing through. And I realized at some point that I had to change my attitude, that this wasn't something I needed to endure or hope that it just ends as soon as possible so I can get through it and get back to feeling good. No, I had to stop resisting the process. I had to embrace the process, or at least accept it. So, I changed my attitude of, I hope I get better soon. I just stayed with what was happening, that I was sick, that I was tired, that I was in pain and uncomfortable, and accept it, not resist it. And almost instantly when I thought about that and realized it and changed the way I was approaching the experience, it seemed like it softened or opened slightly. So I could see that that helped. Okay, and then one more thing, something that I found really powerful and quite beautiful, is to remember compassion. This is a great thing, it's a part of mindful and Buddhist practice, is to remember that when we suffer, know that we are just like everyone else. None of us want to suffer, we all want to be happy. But lots of people get sick. And in fact, around the world, just at that moment, there would have been plenty of people, I don't know, maybe millions of people who were also sick at that time. And therein lies the idea of connection. There I was, feeling sick, just like so many other people, and connecting to the understanding that what we all share is this self-absorbed story of me. I don't want to suffer and I don't like feeling bad. And that is real suffering. The transformative nature of compassion, connecting with the suffering of others. Now, I've done lots of mind training where I breathe in all the suffering of others and breathe out all my happiness. Breathe in the sicknesses and diseases of the world and take them into my self-cherishing heart, and exhale all my health, give it all away. I've done those practices daily, and yet there I was being sick. Could I do it then? And yes, I was able to. And that suddenly gave me a feeling, gave meaning to the experience. And it showed me how beautiful these practices are. gave me trust in the practices, and reminded me that the self-cherishing aspect of my own mind is the cause of my suffering. And then also remembering that my mind is the key to my happiness. Okay, now I'm going to make another session in the yoga studio, part 2 of this cold and flu little series. But please, if you're newly sick, only a few days in, well then forget about doing any of the physical stuff yet. Wait, wait, wait. Rest, rest, rest. Let your body rest. Let your mind rest. Only when you feel that your body has started to recover, when it has become quite clear that you are better now and over the worst of it, even then, wait one more day at least before you start to open up the body again. So this session that I will record soon is for a couple days after you have improved. The worst is over. You are now in the recovery stage. And then we will look at the very gentle, simple, and clever practices to use to help the body on its way back to full recovery. So we're thinking of sickness as a process, a healthy, natural process of the body releasing, clearing the past, old tensions, old karmas. Okay, thanks very much.